Hi guys, firstly I just want to say a really big thank you for all the support you've shown. I was a little hesitant about putting my video up on YouTube because the comments can be nasty, but you guys have been nothing but supportive and I'm just so So here I am again, explaining the basics of feminism. Deepika Bhardwaj. I should probably just start a class called Feminism 101 on Zoom. At least थोड़े पैसे तो बन जाएंगे. I don't talk about women's rights. I talk about men's rights. Parle ji तू क्या देखो? Somebody get her a cookie. Now getting to this next video, this is somewhat related to the first one because I came across this while I was doing my research for the first video. Now because my video name has Equalist Astha in it, YouTube started recommending me really anti-feminist stuff. So of course I found Deepika Bhardwaj's video in which she asks feminist questions. हाँ, क्योंकि हम तुम्हें आंसर्स देने के लिए तो बैठे हैं यहाँ पे. तुम अपनी रिसर्च ढंग से करो मत. हम इमोशनल मेंटल लेबर करते रहेंगे और तुम्हारे आंसर्स देते रहेंगे. So this video is actually divided into two parts. In the first part, I will talk about how Deepika Bhardwaj's activism is actually doing more harm than good and how harmful it is. And in the second one, I will answer the questions. So the first flaw with Deepika's logic is that she focuses on only one aspect of a problem while ignoring every other factor. So it's true that the dowry law is being misused, but that's just one part of a much bigger problem. The much bigger problem being that dowry is still prevalent in India. Suggesting that the law be repealed or that it be made gender neutral is only going to make it much worse. Consider this. According to the WHO, 1 in every 3 women across the globe experience physical and or sexual violence by their partner. Now that's 30% of women who are in abusive relationships or have been in abusive relationships. In India, this problem is only aggravated because of dowry, which makes India the #1 country when it comes to dowry deaths. So we beat China in something. In 2012, it was 8,233. That is one woman killed in every 90 minutes. But good news, in 2015, it was only 7,634. That's progress. And how many people are convicted? 34.7%. So repealing the law is out of question. And when the problem is so gender specific, how can the law and the solution be gender neutral? Women are abused by virtue of being women. Men don't have to pay dowry. The false cases aren't a gender issue but a legal issue. What we should be advocating for is that there be provisions in place when we find that the law is being abused. In any case where we find that there are false allegations, the person making such allegations should be punished. This way people will know that there will be consequences if they misuse the law, and hopefully it will serve as a deterrent so people don't misuse the law. What we shouldn't be doing is asking for the law to be repealed or be made gender neutral, especially for a crime which is already underreported because of shame, guilt, or my favorite, log kya kahenge. The truth and social problems, they're not like Instagram posts. You can't highlight the part you want to show people and crop the rest out because it doesn't fit your narrative. The second flaw in her approach is that she has weaponized this issue and uses it to attack feminists and women. So what she does with her skewed perception of the issue is that she uses it as a tool or a weapon to vilify and demonize feminists and women. I asked in the last video and I'm asking again, how is the misuse of the law to be attributed to feminism or feminists? हम तो लोगों से नहीं कह रहे जाके कि आप false case file करिए. हम तो ये भी कह रहे हैं कि अगर false case होता है तो it should be dealt with accordingly. Talk to any feminist about this and I'm pretty sure they'll share my sentiments. So why the weird obsession with feminism? Instead of talking about the cause of the problem or potential solutions, appropriate solutions, she's just pushing her propaganda against feminism. Anyone who knows anything about logic and arguments knows that this is a classic strawman fallacy. You know, when people don't have anything to argue their case, so they start insulting the other party. Yes, that's exactly what Deepika Bhardwaj does. This isn't just a logical fallacy, but it's actually very dangerous and harmful, especially when it comes to people attacking feminists and the feminist movement. Consider this. Boys' locker room reignited a much needed conversation around rape culture and misogyny. A lot of people then started using the girls' locker room as a distraction from this conversation. And like the giant ignoramus she is, Deepika Bhardwaj did the exact same thing. Only difference is that she has a platform, and people who want to discredit the feminist movement or people who want to attack feminists use her ignorance as a shield. Deepika's words and attitude towards feminism fuels this kind of mentality and even encourages it. People who engage with her often use words like pseudo-feminist or feminist as an insult. Those are the same words that people were using when they sent hate to and hurled abuses to the girls who exposed the boys' locker room and the other people who were supporting those girls. I suppose the real problem was that the boys' locker room was exposed and not the fact that it existed. She has a platform, and when she uses it the way she does, she gives more fodder to people who think that we don't need feminism or feminism is the root cause of all problems.
Recommendations given by various authorities that the law really needs amendment because it's being misused much more than it's being used. Several men and their families. Several cases that.
Did you notice that? When she says several, anyone who watches the video will think that okay, she means majority of the cases or at least half the cases. But according to available statistics, the proportion of false cases is only 9%. Now, I'm not like Deepika or Equal Astasta who will take one headline and run with it. I will not do the disservice of misleading you. The available statistics comes from police cases. So the police says that 9% of the cases they found were false. Now, the estimate could be more or less, especially because a lot of the cases are also not reported. But the way Deepika talks about the issue and the vocabulary she uses would make anyone think that men have it somehow worse when it comes to marriages and are somehow the martyrs of marriage. But the reality is that marriage has always been a game of Russian roulette for Indian women, whether it was back in the olden days for sati or now because of domestic violence and dowry. Other than these problems, women are often expected to give up their house, their name, their family, their parents, their jobs, and even sometimes their education to go and become overglorified unpaid servants for their husbands and his family for their whole life. There's a word for that. It starts with S and ends with slavery. And I haven't even got into marital rape, which is not even considered a crime in India. Laws in India explicitly say that as long as the person is a wife and not under 18, it is not rape. There is no mention of consent anywhere. A foundation called RIT filed a petition in 2015 to tackle this issue, but the petition hasn't even been heard fully. 83% of married women have faced physical, sexual and emotional abuse at the hands of their spouse. 31% of married women cite their husband as the perpetrators. The petition made in 2015 hasn't been heard up until now and was set to hear in January 2020. Yes, 2020 in front of the Delhi High Court. But given the current scenario, I'm not sure what happened with it. This brings me to the last and final problem. Honestly, this is my absolute favorite. Deepika hates feminists but also expects feminists to do her work for her. She hates feminism and criticizes it for not focusing on men's issues. So, a movement made for women to uplift women by people who don't identify as men and who met the most resistance from men does not focus on men's issues? Criticizing the feminist movement for not dropping everything and catering to the needs of men when they do talk about issues of men is like going to a restaurant after the happy hours are over and getting angry at them because you weren't aware of the timings. Now, only if she focused on actual solutions like having more shelters for men who face domestic violence or dealing effectively with false cases. But no, she wants to sit there and pretend as if feminism is the root of all evil. It's ketchup. Ketchup is the root of all evil. Women didn't get the right to vote, the right to education, the right to earn a living and the right to property just because we were constantly asking men what they were doing for women's rights. हक की लड़ाई है, हाथ तो गंदे होंगे ही और हक मांगने से तो मिलता नहीं है, छीन के लेना पड़ता है. The feminist movement has sustained for as long as it has because we offered proper solutions for these problems and not because we were only talking about one part of one problem. It has sustained for as long as it has because it was built by people's blood, sweat and tears. Yes, that's a BTS reference. That was tiring. Well, let's get to the second part of the video. I don't even know why I'm doing this cheap, sasta, low budget coffee with Karan without coffee hamper, but here it is. The first question is, why can't our administration be gender neutral? I think I pretty much explained this in the first part of the video where I said that since the crimes are gendered, the laws and the solution cannot be gender neutral. Female feticide होता है, male feticide नहीं होता है. Even if you look at it historically, सती में भी औरतों को चढ़ना पड़ता था, and their only fault was that they were women who happened to lose their husbands. Feminists aren't lawmakers, and they aren't even going to come in the way of laws being changed to be more effective. In fact, most legislators are men who probably don't even identify as feminists. They're men in power who refuse to use their power to help other people. So your question should be directed towards them and the justice system, not at feminists. Why are all men bad guys? All men are not bad guys. In fact, I've never heard a feminist say that all men are criminals or all men are bad people. We do say that good men have a responsibility to use their power and privilege correctly. If you're a good guy who doesn't stop bad guys from making rape jokes or slut-shaming women and don't try to put an end to rape culture, then you being good is going to be of very little help because your silence becomes complicity. What's interesting is that Deepika says, because of the bad experience some men may leave on you doesn't vilify or make all men criminals or wrong. You'd find it funny too if you knew that the only reason she started her whole crusade against the anti-dowry law and as a consequence of it against feminism was because she was implicated in a false dowry case. Just because of a bad experience one woman left on you doesn't vilify or make all women criminals or wrong. दीपिका दीदी, आपके ऊपर फॉल्स केस हुआ है इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी है कि सारी औरतें फॉल्स केस करती हैं. Why don't feminists support abused men? This one is pretty ironic because the only people who I've actually seen talk about men being abused or men being possible victims of rape and sexual assault are feminists. Well, apart from MRAs, the only difference is that we don't manipulate numbers to invalidate victims who are not straight men, nor do we hijack a conversation which is not about straight men and try to make it about them. Just take the example of Terry Crews. It was feminists who were supporting them while men were emasculating him for even talking about his abuse. So yeah, feminists do support abused men. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean we're not doing it. Why is everything misogyny? Misogyny is misogyny. What kind of question is that? So those were some shitty questions, huh? Deepika Bhardwaj is like that one guy who you've told that you're not interested in him, but he will still keep texting you in hopes that you will finally agree or change your mind. Except she hates us, and she's coming back to remind us how much she hates us every day.